Is FEMA on the chopping block? President Trump says he plans to have a discussion, quote, very shortly about the agency. Trump on Fox News saying the government agency is getting in the way. This as he's set to visit North Carolina tomorrow to address the response to Hurricane Helene before he heads to California, where he will tour the destruction from the ongoing wildfires. NewsNation's Libby Dean is following all of this for us live in D.C. So, Libby, what more are you learning?
Nichole, this was the president's first interview in the Oval Office since inauguration, and a lot of things were said during this, but one thing that's really standing out here is what Trump's criticism, the criticism that he's repeatedly had for the Federal Emergency Management Agency's response here to disasters. Now, Trump saying in that interview that the agency is getting in the way and states should handle this, their own emergency response. States should handle that rather than it being handled by FEMA at the federal level. Let's listen.
FEMA is a whole nother discussion because all it does is complicate everything. FEMA has not done their job for the last 4 years. I had FEMA working really well. We had hurricanes in Florida. We had Alabama tornadoes. But unless you have certain types of leadership, it gets in the way. And FEMA is going to be a whole big discussion very shortly because I'd rather see the states take care of their own problems.
A whole big discussion. You heard the president there. But Trump also in that interview threatened to withhold federal disaster aid for Los Angeles unless California leaders change the state's approach on its management of water. Now, as for what this would look like if FEMA was dissolved and states handled response, it's pretty unclear here, but FEMA employs over 20,000 people nationwide with headquarters here in D.C., and it's been running since 1979. So this would be a big shakeup if Trump were to move forward with it. Nichole?
All right, so Libby, do we know why the president is choosing to go to California and North Carolina now?
Well, Nichole, sources actually tell me that Trump waited to take these trips to these devastated areas until he had that access to the full federal resources that he wanted to provide to those devastated communities. Now, FEMA spends millions of dollars a year on federal assistance, so it'll be worth watching what and if Trump pledges during, and if those are big numbers during this trip that he's making tomorrow, first to North Carolina, then to Los Angeles. Now, as far as who is going to be joining the president on that trip, the newly appointed interim FEMA director is Cameron Hamilton, and he is reportedly going to join Trump tomorrow when he travels to both North Carolina and California to tour those areas devastated by Hurricane Helene and those recent fires. So a lot to watch for here with the president's trips tomorrow. Nichole?
Absolutely. All right, Libby Dean, live there in D.C. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.